Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodities report, starting with Bitcoin here. It certainly looks like wave 4 is being completed here for this. This would also be in line with the Nasdaq and the S&P and tech stocks such as Nvidia and so forth. So there's a high probability that that this low is in place. Now, not all markets are confirming that. So if I go to my little crypto index here, which is the top 10, and we've got the wave 3 with the ABC here, look for wave 4. I'm still missing wave 4 from wave 4 down to wave 5 here. Now, I could squeeze, this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and I could probably squeeze it in down here somewhere. But the wave 5, I don't like sort of forcing things unless it's like there's no other choice, So I've been looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. This wave, blue wave 4 here, we don't really want an overlapping wave 1 here, because then it would sort of breach the rules, so to speak. But out of the 3 rules, the wave 4 quite often can overlap wave 1 and still sort of be okay at that point, depending on the degree of structure, of course. So I've been tracking this up as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but it does look like it wants to sort of push up further here. So we'll just see. But it's possible for it to drop. That's all I'm saying at this point. But otherwise, we'll have to look at it in there. When we look at Ethereum, see, Bitcoin actually came down and made a low below this one here. This particular structure here came down and made that low here. So we could wingle that in as wave 5. When we have a look at Ethereum, it also has not made a new low here as well. So in this case, I've got the wave 3 with the A, the B, and the C wave here. I was waiting for it to possibly come down as well here, waiting for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here and come down for wave 5 and bring this wave 5 over here for that. I can squish it into this particular point here. Then I'll need to look at this as wave 1 here, and then a wave 2 over here for an ABC coming back down this way, so to speak, you know what I mean? Or something of that nature. And have a truncated, oh no, it doesn't know. It could be wave C here, But yeah, still got a bit of movement to go before it overlaps wave 1, but it is really quite humongous, you know what I mean, compared to wave 2 if I had this as wave 2 over here. So basically the crypto index and Ethereum don't really have good cases for lows being in place, but at the same time they are moving up here. And what I've been working on all week is looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, then 1 and 2 and 3, ABC for 4 and up for 5. So basically above that top there, and that really gives a green light, I'm afraid, because that would be 5 waves as wave C there, as wave C and B here and so on. So an ABC here for wave 4. So anything above that would be, good to go at that point. Would have to go with it. We couldn't just keep continuing to stare at it. And the Bitcoin situation, if we look at Bitcoin on these charts here, let me just find it, this one here. So I've been doing the same here as well. So we've got the wave 3 here with the A, the B. So we've got, this is 1 degree smaller, but 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. I could look at this as an A and a B wave to here and a C wave here to have the wave 4 here and then down for wave 5. So that kind of works in a way. And then I could look at this as being wave 1 to the upside here and wave 2, and then building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here and building to the upside here to see how this goes. So one of the things here is the trading levels. So we've got 65 here, which is a medium level. Then we've got, I call it 65. In this case, it's 66,500. So we've got this, this, and this, which is group 2. If you can look closely here, what it's trying to do is it's trying to find support in here. It's trying to sit in here, but it hasn't got it so far. But if it did, then we could go with that. So at this stage we could go long above here because of it. If it moved up from here, then it would have group 2 as support, and if it's got group 2 as support, it means it's leaving this number. But while it's not on this level, then it still belongs to this number. Our analyst Kitty Pond mentioned that it's quite possible for this to be wave 1 here with an A and a B wave here and come down in 5 waves, I think that he mentioned here, which is another good way of looking at it as well here. So there's a few ways to look at all of this, but it does appear that the tech stocks have got their lows in as wave 4s, and the Nasdaq and the S&P and all that's good to go here. So if I look at the Nasdaq here, we've been looking at wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, and looking at 1, 2, yada yada yada, and starting to build into long trade. So we'll look for 1 and 2. So basically, if this is going to go now, then we should see this do much the same. We can sort of chuck it in the tech stock basket, so to speak. I know that's not really the correct thing to do, but that's okay for the time being. But anyway, the main point here is that it's trying to establish support back on the 65 here. So that within itself is a very positive aspect to all of this. Also, too, I wanted to just take a side path here for a moment. I'm going to introduce a competition. And I'll put up $1,000. I'll try and find some sponsors and get some real money into this, but I'll do that. So I want to basically run this for May. Okay, so the way that it works is that it's free to play, and it finishes on the last day of the month, GMT time in the UK. So when it finishes there, this particular I've got this price updating every 30 minutes at the moment, but when it gets closer to the end of the month, I'll bring it in a bit faster. Yeah, so basically it's pretty easy to play. So you'll need your Gmail account for this. So this leaderboard is a Gmail thing, and this is just a little test we've been doing here. And you'll need a Gmail account to log into. Okay, and yeah, so that way nobody can sort of, well, I guess, because I just want people to have one entry really, so and when I go to pay it out, when I go to pay the money here, I'll need your real name, so put your real name in here, and it'll have a Google account. So this way, you can't have multiple accounts, and folks can't have bots running and all those sort of things. So the rules of the game are all sort of here, all pretty sort of simple. Basically, just behave yourself and do the right thing and all those sorts of things. But basically what happens is that the winner needs to get within $10 of the closing price. Now, if there is no winner, then the money here will just double the next, in this case, another $1,000, so it'll be $2,000 and then $3,000. But I'll try to get this up to 10 grand or something. I'll ask around the brokeraging traps to see what's what. And the other thing is too, you can once you've made, it's like I've put in a thing here, just testing here, so I can change this price up until the 20th of each month, and then for the last 10 days you can't change it. So then we just have to see who ends up on the top. Okay, so that's that. So it's just a game, a bit of fun, and yeah, I'll try and get the price money sort of lifted, and if it goes okay, we'll just continue to run it. That's okay. Yeah, it's all good. So anyway, that will start in May, on the 1st of May. So I'll update you more on all of that. Okay, so that's all Bitcoin. That's the Bitcoin side of things. So now we're going to move over to the dollar. to the US dollar. I'll come back to that one. So so what we've been looking at is the US. This is the yields here. So basically this is the same sort of pattern as the US dollar. So we can expect this to continue to move higher. So in here we've got a little 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth. So we're not really at this wave 3 yet here. And we don't have this wave 4 here. So we're approaching that now. And then we'll have this wave 3 up here for the yields, and this wave 4 here, and then this wave 5 here, and so on at this point. That's what it looks like at this stage. Could it fail at this point in here? It's possible for it to fail. I've got a bearish count, but if the US dollar takes its previous top out, which I think I might have it here, let me just go to the 4-hour chart here. I think I've got that here. So yeah, this is this is the bearish count. So if I look at this move up through to here and then look at it as a B wave here and going down for C, I could look at this as wave 1 here and then look at this as an A and a B and a C wave going up for wave 2 here. So I've tried to sort of squish it in the best I can as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2. So basically 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3 sort of going up here for this. But if it takes the top out of here just by even 1 point, then this count here is invalidated. So it would have to really all squash up into here, which is possible to have this as an A and a B and a C of wave 2 here. It's possible, but otherwise we're going to be looking further up here as 3 and 4 and moving up here further. And this will be the same for the, if I go to the daily chart here, I think it is, for the more bullish count here. So this is the more bullish count here where we have, let me just fill the dots in here again, as 1 and 2 here, and this is 1 and 2. We haven't really got to the third wave yet, so we haven't got to that third wave yet either, so there'll be 4 and 5 up here. So this is kind of a reasonable next step to take at this point, as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for the B wave, and then down for the down for the C wave at that point. So here as an A and a B and a C wave. So this is a reasonable way to look at it. But at the same time, I've been looking at, let me start with, this is our Elliott Wave algorithm chart here, but this is also, this chart here is, is this one here, which is the dollar bullish index fund here. And when I have a look at, this is a monthly chart, by the way. So in 2008, there was another low coming in over here for this, but I won't go into the count here just yet for this. But what I wanted to point out here, this monthly chart here, is that this top here, you know, currently the US dollar index is in around here somewhere. That's where we're looking at here for this. So if I come back to this one here, we have, this is we're just talking about in here, but I'm thinking that we may end up having a bigger move up here, because in the bullish index fund, this top has been taken out here. So if I go back here, this top here on the monthly chart is just been taken out. We've got all this movement up here so far. So if I just put this on the weekly chart here for a moment, it presents in such a way that that this top is taken out, and I would have to look at this, because that top is taken out. Now I'd have to look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1 here and ABC for 2. And then because this one here comes down and overlaps wave 1 here, I'd have to look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and perhaps also 1 and 2 as well here, because it is quite sharp here. And then looking at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So as far as I can see here, is that this would need to move up further here for this. So this is, yeah, so this is really quite a bullish sort of picture here. So coming back into this one here, we just looked at the US dollar index bullish fund, and it's taken this top out here. So could this possibly move up here? Because I was always a bit curious, really, because when this move came down here, you see how the volume diminished here? This tells me that decreasing volume is telling me that this is corrective here. So I never really sort of, the volume never really confirmed the price action for me on all of this here. So if we start seeing increased volume, which we have done in the last month, this in April here, starting to see increased volume in this, then there might be a case for this to build even higher here. So I think that we'll talk about this a little bit more, but it's just something that I noticed with the bullish index fund, and we'll see how this goes. But in the meantime, we can expect this to continue to move higher, and we can expect the bonds to move lower as well here. So just go on to the daily chart here, because I don't always update things very well. I'm a bit of a messy chartist, as you know. So for the treasury bonds here, it's quite possible we can look at this if the yields are going to be going to the upside and making a new high. So if I just go back to the yield for a moment here, these are the 10-year yields. We have to remember the 2-year yields are up at the 5 here anyway. So if we start looking at this as 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third here, the fourth and the fifth to get to here. So it still needs to build up higher, and it'll take this top out, and the 2 years are up here. So when we look at the bonds here, it's quite possible that we make a new low here, and we'll need to look at this as wave 3 and 4 here, and coming down for wave 5 here. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not even at the third wave here yet. And then there'll be the fourth wave in here, and then the fifth wave here of the third, then the fourth, and yada, yada, yada. So that seems to be the pathway for this. Now, it's still quite possible that we could look at this as the A wave up here and a B wave here and a C wave here, but I don't have any evidence of that so far, and I can see that even this run here from 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, third, this B wave would have to be down at wave 3 here, which is really on the low here anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how that sort of plays out at this point. So we'll see. Anyway, that's just that. So yeah, so today I just wanted to have a look at just point out that the bigger picture for the US dollar, which brings in the milkshake theory, I guess. Yeah, so it's okay. So let's go over and have a look at gold. So I'm just going to look at GDX first. So we were looking at GDX as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going up for wave 5 here. Okay, so that would make wave 1 and 2 at that point. So wave 4s always get a bit sort of complicated. So how far will wave 5 go up here? I don't know if it'll reach that far or not. What do we got over here? Oh, we got this high, so that's probably about it there then, isn't it? Somewhere in amongst there, 36.50 is always a good little number to work with. That's the beginning of a little group 2 there, but let's just bring it at maybe even, can't go there, yeah, 36.50 and group 36.50 to 38, yeah, so somewhere into 38. So it may not reach the top there. That's what I'm just checking on that. So that will probably get here somewhere, I guess. And then we'll see a wave 2 and then a wave 1 and a wave 2. So our building, we've talked about having a long trade here, and that's fine. And we've got long trades in the futures market on gold as well. But this is where, once we get past, once this pattern here builds, this is where we'll build into over here. We might get something here, and this may not pull back as much in here, of course. So we could get one in here and then build strongly in here into this third over here for this GDX. So, I mean, if GDX is going to go in this particular pattern, then we can expect, gold to continue to the upside as well. So I'll just go into the gold chart here. And I think it's good every now and again to go back into the monthly chart here just to have a look at things here. And my count's a little bit weird here, as I've mentioned before, coming back to the today dot here as 1 and 2 here, because it's pulled back a long way, you know, 78.6. So it's got to be as I remember all of this. It's when I first started trading in 82 here. So yeah, I mean, it's pulled back quite deeply in here for this. So we'd have to look at it as 1 and 2 at this point, and then from going up here as 1 and 2 here. This is where it becomes sort of interesting. You can see the upside potential here, and obviously it kind of suits the you know, the debt environment in the world as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for 1 and 2 here, log scale, and then this current move that we're in here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, where most Elliott people agree on wave 4 here at least, and then we're in here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 in here. So we're going up for third. So we're going up. But even what I wanted to point out here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So even when we get to wave 5 up here, to me this is just going to be wave 1 of cycle degree here. So this will be 1 and 2, and this will be 1 and 2, because I mean, it could play out as a stronger third wave, but you know, that means I'd have to look at this as 1 and 2 here as well, and I'm not sure I want to go there just yet on that one. So basically this is sort of where we are in the bigger picture. So it's fluttering around here on these current trend lines in here, and the 25 here is what we call a medium level in the trading levels thing. And the trading levels are simply the Fibonacci as a price ratio over here, so it's just more of a charting thing, but it brings in the psychology of things as well. And yeah, so that's where we are on the monthly really here. So we just, you know, we're just going 1, 2, and you have to say that's a nice third wave here, isn't it, compared to wave 1 here. So if you're long in, you know, I suggest being long in gold stocks, and also banks are good at the moment. So yeah, just really matter of holding really, because we're just going to go up, and you know, at this medium level here, we'll be at wave 4s here. So we're going to see patterns like this coming into play here across that 2,500. It'll either be that, or there's only really 3 patterns that can occur. It's this one and this one where it doesn't fall back below the level, and then the third one is where it doesn't stop here and just continues to go up and then falls back. This is a little bit rare. The most common pattern is this one here. But the thing is, if it reacts from here, then you know that you're going to get the rest of this. That's the beauty of it, you know. And this is normally wave 3, 4, and 5 in some sort of ABC that could pull back a bit deeper here as well. And this is where we exit and enter back over here for this, because sometimes these corrections can take, you know, months and months and months. So once you sort of understand this, then it makes life a bit simpler. So we'll see how it plays out. We've got two wave 4s to play out in around this area here. That said, we'll just cut straight through to, or we'll just go to the weekly, because I might need to update things a little bit. Oh no, it's okay. So we've got this wave 4 here, and we're going up from wave 4 up to wave 5 up here, and we've got 5 waves within that. So we've got 1 and 2, and then there'll be 3, 4, and 5 here, and this can be counted in 2 different ways here. So I'm just still monitoring that, but all that said, this will be just a wave 4 here, and we'll see wave 5 play out. We're in this little wave 4 at the moment, and we'll see this play out here in some way or another. Probably won't come back to that point, but we'll see. We'll sort it all out. It'll be something like this. And it probably won't come back that far either. This is a wave 4 here. This is the first wave 4. So what we could do here is we could put in this low here, that wave 4 here, will be all of these wave fours. Now, normally you'd expect them to come back to the 38.2% retracement level or to the wave four one less degree, but they just tend to be sort of up on each other a little bit in a bullish market. So it'll probably be something like this here. So we'll see, but we'll definitely see some sort of dance across that 2,500 level there. So it's good to know that, because then you can make decisions. You know, you wouldn't want to be caught it's okay to have leverage in these sort of structures, but not when you get to wave fours, because with the leverage you'll be, not always unless you're trading the futures contracts, but if you're trading CFDs or other things, you'll be paying for the financing of that, and you'll end up losing a lot of money holding through all of that. So I just suggest, you know, stock is pretty good. And then the daily chart here, let's just see if I've updated that here. It's a little bit messy in there. Let me just have a look at my other chart here for a moment. That might be a bit better. Okay, here's that correction. I'll probably need to drop it down 1 degree. But the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here, I was looking at this here and just trying to pull this apart here to see if I had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Do you know what I mean? So I sort of came to the conclusion that if I take this top here and this bottom here roughly, currently the 38.2% retracement level is right here. Okay, so where that high is. But this little move here looks a bit impulsive. So what I wanted to do here was to consider this situation. If we have another high here on, this is trading levels talk now, so we've got 2300 here, which is the top of minor group 1 of 2000, so that's very significant. Now the next group 1 is 1, 2, and 3 here, so if we get support on this level here, then we'll be leaving this number, and then we'll be going up to the number 5 at that point. But if it doesn't find support here, then, and the number 2 here becomes the retested resistance, then we're going to be pulled back down to this number here, and we'll need to look at wave 5 being down here. So there may be one more move here. But at the same time, we have to prepare for the upside as well, because I mean, I counted down here. So I've done a few different counts in here, but anyway, you can go back over that in your own time. But what I'm talking about here is looking for a long trade just in case. So let's just assume for a moment that, let me just clear this up a bit. Let me just look at this in terms of, let's just say that this is some sort of wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C coming down here, and then it moves up here. It'll be like this. So if you can get that here, then you can put that on the top here, or you can drop it down to the second high here, and that's your long trade at that point. Okay, but we got to move away from the possibility of this here, because when you look at this just first up, you would think that, well, you know, we've got a nice A wave here, a B wave here, you know, it's but ugly, and then we've got 1, 2. You know, I could drag wave 4 into here and do all those sort of things. I know that, but this is 38.2% retracement level, and it's a nice wave 4, and wave 4 normally breaks the trend line anyway, and it's done that. So just be prepared for one more move down here. Okay. Now I won't look at silver because I've been yakking too long, but silver will be in the same boat as well at this point. Okay, so we want to have a look at base metals now. I think I'll start with the XME here, which is the Metals and Mining Index, as a bit of a change. So we cover these in the sector side of the website. But the main point I wanted to sort of point out here is that we're in a bullish trend here, whichever way you want to look at it. You know, I mean, the 65 here is a medium level, so medium level is always halfway between two major levels, and we should see this play out in some sort of corrective move across here. This is a weekly chart, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and we're going up into wave 5 here. So I'll just go from weekly to daily here in this, and you know, the stocks in this sector will be doing much the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So we'll see, you know, we'll see that we'll be around here for the 65 for quite some time, but it does give us that that move there. And obviously in this particular sector as well, if we just have a quick look here, we've got, these are the top 10 here in this market. So these will be, you know, creating this particular pattern, so if they are of any interest to you. And yeah, so then we can go over to, we normally look at uranium. So next, so I'm just going to go to commodities here and look at URE here, the ETF here on the monthly here as well. So I mean, I've got this also as really quite bullish here, because I've got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here for an impulse wave, and then an A and a B and a C here, and then 1 and 2 here. And I'm also looking, I'm not bringing this in as wave 3 here because it's just too small, but I'm looking at this here being another wave 1 to the upside here. So that means that this will play out in terms of a wave 4 that we're in at the moment, and then a wave 5 here, and then an ABC across here, and then pushing up again at that point. So I do see this very bullish. I'll just go to the daily chart and just pick it up from here. So we're looking at this here as being the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave to come down here. So at this stage, yeah, so from B down to C here. So we still need another little move down here as well to finish this off here and come down into these lows. It's possible that I could put, just speaking out loud here, thinking out loud, we can put wave 4 over here and then look at this as wave 1 here with an ABC here. If that's the case, we need to be long above that top there, but we will drop that trigger down further down here once we had the first high above the major level here, the 30 here. So we don't need to go there yet. Let me just check on CAP here for a moment. This is one of the larger Russian ones here. So we've noted this as being an ABC pattern here. So yeah, so this is probably 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So it's really not a lot to go down here actually. So a wave 4 and a wave 5 here, and then we could go to the upside at that point, you know. So I think when we're close, you know, we're reasonably close for this, and it is a nice correction across this level here as well. Not that we trade this particular market. I'll just have a look at Sprott as well. So yeah, so this has also got a case for having this as an A and a B and a C here, and then having this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So the case for the impulse wave is also there as well. So I'm just keeping an eye on both sides of it, but I don't see the setup just yet in these markets. And the other side of all of this is copper. So with copper, we're seeing that move up. This is a monthly chart here, moving up quite strong, which I haven't updated, but I have been working on my this chart here, this ETF here, the US Copper Fund chart here. And yeah, as far as this this move here is concerned, obviously it's going to come into these old highs here, so there's going to be supply there. And I'm just looking at this as more of a bullish light here. I mean, we can look at it as a top being in play here, so I'm just trying to squish this up here. As you know, we could look at it as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then in here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I'm trying to make it as short as possible, and then that would leave me at up here, and then a 4 here, and then a 5 up here for this. So this is where I could have this as another particular top here, and we could come down at that point. But yeah, I mean, really, it's I know that doesn't count very nicely as an impulse wave here. I get it. But we may need to view it like that. And there's a couple of ways to view this here, as we could put wave 2 over here, and then this wave 1 over here, and this wave 2 over here, to build a stronger picture to the upside here as well. So I'm mindful of that. We'll just keep an eye on BHP and a few of those guys for all of this. But our commodity analyst has got a top coming in here, but we're going to get some sort of top here anyway, so we'll just have to work through that a little bit. So we're not going to go long, we're not going to go short, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to observe that for the short time. I won't look at lithium and nickel today, so we can move over to the energy sector, and let me just go to US sectors here for a moment, because I want to have a look at the energy side here. So with this market, the XLE, the US one, I'm not sure why I've got, don't need that one there. So we've got wave 3 here with an A, B, C, D and E over here for this, and then pushing up. Now the interesting thing here is that I'm tracking 5 waves up here, which XOM is quite dominant in this particular market, and we're looking for, we may end up getting an ABC here for this and then going up here, but my main point here is that we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I'm going to look at this as wave 1 here, and then an ABC for wave 2 here. You know, because if the dollar is going to go up, the US dollar, then it's highly likely that this is, you know, going to continue higher as well, God forbid. The energy side of things, you know, it has been a bit of a fear factor in the political scene. But yeah, so a lot of people would have a top in here for this, but I think that we could actually go further up in all of this here. And this little pattern in here, by the way, we'll have a look at crude in a moment, but this little pattern, this trend here is really this trend here from ExxonMobil here. So we're looking at 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here. So it's possible for this to have a little wave 4 here and then push up at this point. But I am seeing a little 1, 2, 3. It does overlap here a bit. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can look at this as an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, and 5 here. So an A and a B. So it's possible to go here, and this would be about the 50% level here, so we could probably go long above this, but this could be counted up here as corrective as well. So this, you know, we could see this play out something like this here and bring wave 4 over here for this. So if you do go long here, the target will be the 130, and I mean, we're already long here with the target up there anyway, but if you wanted to add to that, you might have to hold for a dip. This is the 38.2%, so it could come down to 115 here. The halfway mark's always important between two large numbers, so that's possible there. But the thing is, you know, if this is going to be, this looks like a wave 3, doesn't it? I mean, really, you know, and this is starting to be a wave 4. So if this is correct, this is going to push up here. So if this is going to push up here, then you would expect crude to push up there, wouldn't you? You know, so this is crude here. And I've been looking at this here. If the 80 became, this is a CFD product, so it's priced a bit differently, but the $80 here, if this $80 became the retested resistance, then I would look at the bearish side. If we had a low in place and then the low got breached, then I'll be on the bearish side. But until that happens, I have to stay with the trend to the upside and stay on the right side of the market. And being on the right side of the market means finding the closest, largest number and being on that side of it, you know. I don't have an impulse wave here just yet, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be short, put it that way, at this point, you know. So anyway, I'm thinking that we can still go higher here for this. And then we need to look at natural gas. So there's a couple of things here. I haven't quite got my sort of head around it. If I look at this one here, both NYMEX, so this one here has and the CFDs have jumped here. So I'm still looking at this here as wave 1 and 2 here, and then all the way down for wave 3 here, with an A and a B and a C wave up here for wave 4. And this would be a little 1, 2 in here and a 3, 4. So it's a bit more of a dance to come in, and this is the 38.2% retracement level from this high here. Now this other market here, the NG here market, that's got a slightly different pattern where it hasn't really popped up above the $2 mark. So I think this is the Henry Herb one here. Yeah, so I'm not a full book about these energy markets, but here it looks like we're getting some sort of triangle pattern. So I would imagine that we need to come up here a little bit further, and then we can look to move down. If we get this here, then we can look for the short trade in amongst here, but we need this to play out. We need an impulse wave here and then a 3 wave move back, and then we can look to short under the B wave and come down on this. So yeah, I don't know why one is above the $2 and one's not. If somebody wants to explain, that would be good. Okay, that's a long video, but we got through a little bit. Commodities is a big wide sector, so there's lots of different things to talk about, but that's that for today. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.